All right, coach. So now we're talking about FDU. Toward the inside, Avery Bain on the outside. I mean, they're both just tremendous players. FDU's always got a boatload of them. But when you're playing a team like FDU, the ball can come from so many different angles. How does that change how you prepare defensively? What do you do against that?
It comes to trusting your own teammates. If you're at the net, normally you have a person that's like yours to defend, to cover. And as a middle, it's our job to go close to the right sides and outsides. But like the middle's ours, the outside against the right side, and vice versa, right side against the outside. You just have to trust your teammates to be able to do their job. When there's so many offensive threats coming your way, and especially when there's a good pass, you trust your teammates to do their job. And as a middle, I'm going to trust my pin hitters to really cover me on the block. If I have to worry about my middle too, I have to wait before I can go and explode out to go block with them. So it's all about trusting your teammates. And then if the blocker, say one of the middles isn't closed and there's a gap, it's about trusting the bros behind you, just getting set up in defense and everyone working their hardest to just keep the ball in the air.
Yeah, I love getting the defensive talk. Feels like a lot of times, from the media from my end, it's always, offensive spikes, power ball, like over at McNeese maybe. Uh, so it's nice hearing kind of the behind the scenes on how you go up and defend those balls. But like LIU, FDU is going to be a favorite. LIU is one of the two favorites last year, along with St. Francis. There's going to be a lot expected from this year. How do you handle that pressure? How did you handle that pressure for the Sharks?
I mean, you come into season knowing that everyone's coming to play their best game against you. Everyone, if you're not in the top teams, you're coming out to beat the top teams. And if you are one of the top teams, you want to take out the other top teams to prove you are the top team, right? So it's all about just knowing everyone's bringing their best foot forward. And honestly, it makes games that much more fun when both sides are working as hard as they can. It's exhausting, but it's so fun to be in. And you're ready. You come in and you know you can't have a bad game, especially in the NEC, whereas there are top teams, it's anyone's ball game at any minute, right? You can't let up against a school that you may think is weaker, or you just never know. The NEC is constantly in flux. There's never really this team is the powerhouse, because then they can still get taken down any day. So it's always about putting your best foot forward, no matter if you're one of the top schools or if you're not uh, foreseen to be one of the top schools. At all points, just going.
Yeah, and absolutely agree on NEC being one of those leagues. I think three different NCAA tournament qualifiers in the last 3 years for sure. And then, one of those teams is FDU toward the back end there, 13-game win streak this year. So, do you think there's anything special you have to do to take that next step where you can say, okay, we won 13 in a row, but at the end of the day, we fell short against Chicago State in the tournament finale? What do we do to make that jump and get back to where FDU has to feel they belong?
It's all about just playing teams and their styles. So, it's like Chicago State and FDU are two very different teams. Chicago State was they were focused. They were not necessarily quiet, but on the quiet side. They were just going. They were there to win at all times. FDU was very loud. I mean, they were very loud. They were up, they were down, they were energetic, they're in your face. FDU was always one of the most tiredest games I had to play every time. They were just going fast paced all the time. So it's all about matchups, and when it comes down to the moments like the NEC tournament, it's about who can fight the hardest and who can just stampede through and stay calm in the process. You can still be loud and calm, but especially when you get to see tournaments, who can keep their nerves most in check.
Join us from New Jersey, the FDU Knights. We have Avery Bain and Coach Wayne. Thank you so much for coming by and seeing us today.
Hi
Of
there.
course.
Hey, so, Coach, I want to start with you. Very recently, still made it to the NCAA tournament up against Texas. Last year, 13-game win streak, makes it to the finals of the NEC tournament. But what's got to happen this season, 2025, to get back to the big dance where you feel you belong?
Yeah, I think everybody has to step up. All of our returners, most of our returning lineup is seniors and or juniors. We'll have a couple of freshmen that need to step up as well in their role, but so far so good in practice and in preseason. So Yeah, I just think everybody needs to step up just a little bit so that we can finish what we started, essentially.
So Avery, you're one of those upperclassmen. Last year we saw you in Loretto. You're in the middle of that huddle, man. You look like Ray Lewis hyping up your teammates. So what's got to happen this year as you're stepping into that leadership role as an upperclassman?
Yes, I feel like my role is definitely changing a little bit to still being a hype woman, but also being the calm and taking some of the underclassmen who have to take on big roles, kind of taking them under my wing, showing them the way so that we can get to a championship because I know we're hungry for it.
Yeah, and coach, I mean, FDU has a little bit of a reputation of being one of the louder teams. It's a good reputation, but it's a loud bench. It's a in-your-face type of squad. Is that something you work to do, or is it something just your players have that personality?
I think it's part of the recruiting process. I want to bring in players with high energy and high personality. I think our team is very, very good at supporting each other. Whatever means necessary for that. Sometimes it's being a little bit loud for the opponents. Sometimes it's just being loud on our side in general. But they do a really good job of hyping each other up and supporting each other.
Avery, last year we saw you in Loretto. It was kind of a hometown game for you, but this year you're not traveling to Loretto. Good side of that is you're actually going to Moon Township. You've got these games against RMU. You guys are playing Duquesne. So what's it mean to have another chance 2 years in a row now to kind of get to see your family or have them see you play?
Yeah, it's very special. We're also going to my house for a meal, so getting to share that part with my team is very special, and getting another chance to play in front of my home crowd, play in front of schools that I went to growing up as a little girl watching, and it's very exciting. It means a lot to me.
Coaches, keeping on the theme of road trips, I always love looking for these big road trips to start the season. You guys didn't make me look too hard. You're heading to Utah to kick off the year. So, what's that environment kind of like whenever you get the whole team off of campus, away from any possible distraction, and you're just together for a few games in Utah?
Yeah, it allows us to kind of separate ourselves from the school side. It's like the same week that school starts, so it allows the girls to take their mind off the whole school situation for now, just for a little bit and enjoy themselves. And it's allows us to go towards the West Coast a little bit. We have a few players in the West Coast, so allows their family to come and travel and watch some of those games. But we're the opening match for BYU. They're ranked top 25 in the country, and I want it's going to be tough. It's not going to be any cakewalk by any imagination. But I want our players to understand that we can play at a high level, and if we end up winning the conference and making it to the NCAA's, we're going to have to play somebody like this anyway. So why not start now and kind of get our feet wet with a team that's in the top 25?
I mean, Avery, last year, your second team All NEC, Kylie's All NEC second team as well. But what does the junior season look like for you? I'm sure you have group goals, but as an individual, what are you hoping to do? What would look like success?
Yeah, I would definitely love a championship. I've put in a lot of work. I've put my head down and locked in and trying to stay consistent, up my game, and grow as much as I can as an individual to contribute to the bigger picture, of course. So we'll see what that looks like, but I'm really excited to work.
And I mean, coach, just I guess kind of piggybacking off that, you have a couple of these All NEC, second team players returning. You've got an experienced roster. I mean, what's the outlook kind of feel like when you're in practice? Do you think this team's where it has to be? Is there still some work to do in this non-conference schedule before you get into the meat of play?
Yeah, I mean it's exciting to see for sure. I mean, like you said, we have a lot of returners that are upperclassmen, but at the same time, we have a really good group of incomers that we need them. We need them to be able to go where we want to go. But it's cool to see the upperclassmen kind of helping them out and making life a little bit easier on them. It's always nice to have all your pins back from the season before, and that's something that you don't have to necessarily over work on when it comes to like the communication side, when it comes to just the team side of it. The skill side, of course, is going to be there, but the hardest part of combining a new roster is always the communication side. So I think our girls have been doing a really good job during practice here, and we're we're starting ahead of schedule in my mind. So I hope that means that we can be successful. But like you said, the out of conference is first, and we got to focus on that. And getting a couple wins under our belt is going to be very helpful for the mental going into conference play.
So Avery, when I looked over some of the new players, new faces on FDU's team, one stood out to me. I mean, I make no secret of this. I'm a huge Whitfield loyalist. I'm from Western Pennsylvania, and you've got another Pittsburgher on this roster
Yes.
coming as a freshman. So did you do that? Is there are you calling up your guys from club teams and saying, hey, come play with me? Or was there any connection beforehand?
Yes, I love Maddie. I have been friends with Maddie and worked with her for a couple years now. She's an incredibly hard worker, great communicator. Coming in as a freshman, she's playing way bigger than I think any of us expected. And I mean that in the highest compliment. So it's definitely great to see a familiar face, but also great to see her perform the way she's performing.
And Coach, I guess finally, whenever I look back at your season last year, I look back to that 13-game win streak. Of course, I think it's the first thing anyone's going to think of. It's not the whole season. It's not the story of everything, but obviously something's really clicking in those non-conference and conference games. When you look back to that run, I mean, was there anything that you can get from that was really working, you can kind of put to work this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were definitely a few trap games in the middle of those that run that we could have easily lost to, and the girls, kept their head down and believed in each other and got those bigger victories that we kind of needed. So it just showed me that they were mentally strong enough. I'm hoping that that kind of reflects a little bit about it this year. We talked a little bit about our values today, and perseverance was one of the things that we talked about. And I think it's going to be important for the girls to understand that we are going to be put in a tough situation at times, and it's how we persevere through those tough situations that's going to help us towards the end of the season.
All right. Sounds like FDU's reloading, coming back from another run. From my perspective, I cover football. I've seen it all, and the most fun I've had at a sports event in 2024 was FDU versus St. Francis volleyball. So definitely check it out, guys. Thank you so much for your time, Coach Avery.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.